alpha male content has got some of you guys fucked up, and I'm going to talk about it. I have a huge problem with the alpha male content. While I do agree a man should be reasonably fit just in case a man has to squabble or just general health, I don't agree with the fact that you have to be this over manly man who has a phone full of women, right? You don't have to be this manly man that disrespects women. Now, I have a lot of sisters, and then there's women in my life that I care about, my aunties. If a man came into their life and talked to them like some of these alpha male red pill influencers were, we got to fight. Like, there is no question about it. Like, we have to fight. I have to beat the living crap out of you. And the fact that some of these red pill alpha male men have daughters, do you really want your daughter to date a man like you? I would probably say no. Now, the problem with this is now a lot of people are trying to emulate the content to get the same attention that these fake alpha males get online. I know one or two. We ain't gonna say no names, but it's kind of cringy because when you think about it, they're down talking males more hardcore than the hardest core of feminists do. And the same people paying them for advice are the same type of men that they talk about. I probably shouldn't say his name. I should bleep that out. Let's take into account a certain Romanian living influencer who pretty much made his money being an internet pimp. Do what you do, make your money. And if I'm not mistaken, he has a daughter. Is he going to want his daughter to be with the same kind of man that he is? Or be the type of woman, and this is no disrespect to women, or be the type of woman that has the OF accounts that he makes money off of? I sense a conflict of interest. See, someone's quick to call you a beta male when they themselves are beta males. Now, I'll give you an example. There's this alpha male, this happened recently, who said something disrespectful and I got in his face because I draw the line of disrespect. Instead of looking me in the eye like an alpha male, he turns around and starts talking, right? And I can smell fear. I have a defined spleen. I know what fear is. But where's all this alpha male stuff? Where's all this alpha male talk? And then telling people behind my back that he wanted to punch me in the face. Well, you turned around. You can't punch me from behind. You're swinging at the air at that point. This is a real situation that happened. And then when you call one of these so-called tough guys out, they cower up. And these are the men that are leading men to be men and what they consider a man. Let's take into account the boys that got banned off this platform. They talk about men versus women in roles, but look at the kind of women they interview. I want them to interview a woman that's a CEO of a company. My grandma, my dad's mom, was a CEO of a company. May she rest in peace. She would get on that platform and tear those boys apart because they're picking for people who can't think for themselves. I want them to talk to the woman that's a lawyer. They're not going to do that because it doesn't push the agenda of their content. That makes sense. However, the lack of identity that a lot of this generation has is what's making this popular. Oh, you want to be like so and so because they quote unquote have a figure out. They have a nice car, right? They are running a multi-million-dollar podcast. They have exotic cars, blah blah blah. They're selling the fact or the idea that they have all these women that they can do things with. Guys, I don't buy this because in my mind, what is an alpha male? Someone who does what he has to do, right? Someone that takes care of their kids, a man that doesn't need multiple women to build up his ego, a man whose ego isn't fragile, a man that can speak up when he needs to speak up and speak for the people who don't have the voice, can speak up for or fight for the people who can't fight back. To me, that's a man. Respect for both genders, male and female. So instead of the idea that, oh, I'm red pilled, I'm this, I'm that, I'm fresh, I'm fit, be who you are. Step into whatever your role is. And they talk about high value men. A high value man doesn't want a slave. This may be a bad example, but take into account Jay-Z and Beyonce, both billionaires, right? Jay-Z said, I don't want a whore, I want a wife, someone I can talk to these ideas with at night. That's the perfect relationship, lyrically at least, right? On paper. That is functional. And then accepting that no one's going to be perfect, right? That's just a fallacy. No one's ever going to be perfect. But why idolize the mentally, ooh, I'm not going to go there. As men, I think you have to get out of that idea that I have to be like these guys. I have to prove that I can pull women. What if a woman feels like they need to pull you? What do you say? Right? So instead of consuming content that you think will make you a better man or an alpha male, which I think is highly subjective, I would say focus more on being a person with integrity and values. That goes way further than being someone who can sleep with someone. I don't find value in that whatsoever. Let me make sure there's nothing else I wanted to cover. It looks like there's not. Okay, I'm going to wish you all a good day. Enjoy this holiday season. Be careful what you put in here because it shows in the real world. It comes out. Take care of yourselves. And again, get fit if you aren't fit, right? And I'm not saying get out there and have a six-pack and abs because I don't have abs, right? I'm a little chubby. I'm not saying go out there and have multiple women. I'm a married man and all I need is one. I can barely handle my one. Sorry, babe. Don't be afraid to be vulnerable. That's where growth's at. My dad taught me that. All right. I got alpha male things to do. I got to go take care of my children. Two of them are woke. One's about to be woke, the little guy. So again, this alpha male is going to go and handle his responsibilities. I got kids to feed. Literally, I got to cook them breakfast. Could DoorDash some shit, but that's beta male. Oh my God. I'm going to be an alpha and go cook them some food because I like the art of cooking too. All right, guys, and girls, I'll chat with you later. Cheers.